The issue started right after my spouse attended the interview in May of 2019. The questions, according to him, were very detailed, some of them. When the interview concluded, the officer gave him the 221G worksheet. I was stunned. My husband doesn't know what 221G is. How could he know? I never heard of 221G. I was stunned because I was thinking that there's only two possibilities: the visa's approved or visa's denied, one or the other. They wanted to see proof of conversations between us, that we communicate. And the second one was more pictures from our wedding, like reception, especially the reception. And the third one was they needed a NADRA marriage certificate. This is a little bit different from the marriage certificate that we originally submitted to USCIS. When you register your marriage with the NADRA, this is what you need.
You gathered up these documents and you sent them off and responded, right?
2 weeks, we send everything via courier service.
And then what happened after they received them?
We waited. We did not get any messages from the embassy. And I'm thinking, okay, even if it's a month or two, that's okay. In July, the same year, we get this email from the embassy, and it's a questionnaire, and it was about 15 or 16 questions that asked everything about my spouse's past 15 years of travel history, 15 years worth of address history, where he lived, what he did, everything, including all his siblings, brothers, sisters' names, dates of birth. You know, it was very, very thorough, and I knew right away what that was. We sent it right away to the embassy.
And what happened after you sent that in?
Nothing, zero, nothing. There was no response.
So what did you do?
We waited, and we're talking every single day. We were actually still very optimistic because my thinking was, well, of course, they're not going to respond the next day. There's thousands of cases being processed, so
Right.
Let's just wait. And by mid-September, we were starting to get just worried and a little bit fed up. What we did next was we contacted our local congressman, a congressional aide.
How did that work?
She was very pleasant. I knew her before, and she was willing to send out an inquiry on our behalf, and she did that in October of 2019.
Did that have any effect on anything?
They sent back an email. It was a cookie cutter response stating, unfortunately, your case is still in administrative processing. We are sorry for the delay. We will let you know.
That fall, what happened? You were just sort of stuck, right?
We were told that you have to inquire every 60 days. I got really hung up about this idea every 60 days because I was thinking, well, we were thinking, you know, we can do this every 60 days. The next time it will work.
Right.
If we waited that long, 60 days is not that much. But we did this again in December 2019, and same thing happened. We started getting extremely frustrated and started thinking that there is something wrong with our case.
December ends, 2020 starts, you're still stuck.
I was beyond frustrated, but I was very stubborn about even thinking about contacting a lawyer, because I'm one of those people that thinks that if we did this by ourselves from beginning, we filed the I-130, that we can do this without a lawyer. And I kept telling my husband, we don't need a lawyer because we can do this ourselves. I'm one of those people that has a really hard time asking for help, and I believe if we started this, we need to finish it, and a lawyer is not going to speed up administrative processing. That's what I have been told.
How can a lawyer help you?
Exactly. They said lawyers
Yeah,
a lawyer will charge you, and they will not speed up administrative processing, because when your visa is stuck in administrative processing, that's the embassy. The lawyer can only inquire, and I held on to that.
Okay, what led you to reach out to me?
I was at work. It was a busy day, and I get a message from my husband, and he sends me a screenshot of the CAC website saying our visa has been refused. Just like that. No explanation, no email, no nothing. I started Googling like crazy, like refuse status, CAC, what does this mean? I don't know, your video came up. You were talking about administrative processing, visas stuck in administrative processing. What are we doing? What are we waiting for? Why are we still stuck when we can go ahead and file a mandamus lawsuit? But like I said before, mandamus lawsuits before, I thought that only certain people can do them, that it's not for everybody. But you were giving this information and this, what you're doing, and your specialty is getting visas out of administrative processing. It was like a break. My mind was made up. Our mind was made up. And I called my spouse and I said, we got to do this. We have nothing to lose. We have to get a lawyer at this point.
One of the things that I always get from people, and they say, oh, Josh, if I file the lawsuit, what if I just get denied? What if they just deny me?
Right.
Was that running through your head?
I was thinking, like, we've already swum out into the ocean and there's no way we're going to turn back the boat around and go back to the shore. Even if the embassy, decides that my spouse does not deserve a visa, we need to know. Either way, we have to get his passport back and we have to get this case unstuck. Hiring a lawyer is going to help us get the answer that we need.
And I know that after we filed the lawsuit, you also had some times where you got very upset and emotional and discouraged. It wasn't easy.
After you informed me that we have filed a lawsuit, that it's not going to be the next day that we're going to get an answer. But I believe by the time May ended, I started to get really worried, just overall upset at the embassy that, why am I hearing that people are going and getting visas and why are we still waiting? What's the delay? You already know our case. That's what I was telling myself with the embassy. You already know us. You got everything.
I remember a lot of conversations I had with you and I was like, listen, just trust the process. This is going to work. And you were upset, and I know it probably wasn't easy at all for you.
No, he was saying, well, maybe I'm not going to leave Pakistan and I'm just going to stay here. And, and I told him, don't say that because, we got this, but I don't know why the embassy is not answering. I don't know. Finally, I believe it was end of July when we got an email and they asked for my husband's updated medical exam. And I think that's when things started to get.
Yeah, they don't ask. I don't think they ask you for the updated medical exam unless they're going to issue to you the visa, because why would they bother doing that?
But even then I still wasn't 100% convinced because of the time that we were waiting. Yes, it was very happy news. I mean, I was very happy that we got an email and yes, they're asking my husband to go get an updated medical exam and schedule a fingerprint oath. But again, my thinking is always until I see that word issued or until I see that visa stamped in the passport, I'm not going to get too excited because unfortunately, I don't know. This is the embassy. They can do whatever they want. This is the State Department.
They said issued and you still were a little bit hesitant. It wasn't until he actually had it in his hand that you were able to relax, right?
When the status changed on CAC, and the word issued came, it was like, wow, like just like that. And
what was your reaction? Like, did you call your husband? Like, how did you process the good news?
He just sent me a text message saying, call me. And I thought, oh gosh, please don't tell me that something else is going, and then I called him and he started screaming over the phone. He's like, look at the status, it's issued. So I'm like, hold on, let me see my phone. And sure enough, I opened the phone, I logged in, and there it is, the word issued, your visa has been printed. And
what did you feel at that precise moment?
I started crying. Like happiness, just pure joy, happiness. It was just, it's for me personally, for us, it was what we have been working towards for over 2 years.
For people out there that are stuck in administrative processing and maybe they've seen my video about these mandamus lawsuits and they're thinking, well, I don't know about this. Sounds risky. I don't know. What would you say to someone who's considering it, or if you're stuck in it, what advice would you give them?
There are options, and there are fantastic people like Josh who can help you, who can get this process moving for you and get this going. I was hesitant too. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what the end result will be. But like I said earlier, we already took that gamble. You already took the gamble. Everybody out there, what do you have to lose if you contact an attorney who will file a mandamus lawsuit and most likely will get that visa out of administrative processing and have you reunited with your loved one? Do it. don't wait.
And if you hadn't hired me and we hadn't done the lawsuit, where would you be right now? What do you think?
Sitting in my kitchen and thinking maybe next week they will contact us, or maybe next month, or maybe
Let's just give it another 60 days, right?
Right, maybe another 60 days.
When's he coming? What's the future for the two of you?
I really hope that this month, in the next 2-3 weeks, I will be reunited with my spouse. I mean, we are super excited to start our lives together.
I just want to congratulate you.
Thank you. I just want to say that if I haven't stumbled upon your video on that day, March 3rd, 2020, I think we still would have been just at a dead end. It's been a blessing.
Yeah, well, it's been a pleasure helping you and working with you. I'm proud that they could bring about this result, and I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story.
Absolutely. Yes.